Hi guys, welcome back to my mathematics tutorial. My name is Peter C. your math tutor. And in today's lesson, we want to look at the continuation of our previous lesson, which is derivatives of trigonometric function. And we have question number 5. So this question, we are going to solve this question in a more simplified form. That is, we are not going to look at the general solution that is obtained from this problem. We want to further simplify that general solution so that we experience having a compact form of solution. So let's get started. Now this is an implicit equation because x and y are mixed up in the equation, so we must apply implicit differentiation. Now remember, sine raised to the power 8x is the same as saying sine raised to the power x, or sine of x raised to the 8th power plus y raised to the 8th power equals to y raised to the 8th power sine of x raised to the 8th power. We could also say, because y and sine have the same power, we could put all of them under the same parentheses. But let's do them separately. So we differentiate the first using the extended power rule. That is, we drop this power 8. We rewrite sine of x, and we subtract 1 from this power, which is 7 now. And then we differentiate sine of x. So the derivative of sine of x is cos of x. Plus, differentiate y to the 8th power, we get 8 y to the 7th. The derivative of y now is 8y to the 7th, so we add y prime because this is the name of the function. All equals, now we have two separate functions here, an algebraic function and a trig function, so we use the product rule. That is, we hold one of the function, let's hold y to the 8th, and we differentiate this one. We have 8 sine of x all raised to the 8th power, the 7th power now, times the derivative of sine of x, which is just cos of x, plus, so since we held this one first, we will now hold this sine of x raised to the 8th power. So it's sine of x raised to the 8th power times the derivative of y to the 8th power, which is just 8 y to the 7th y prime. Now our next goal is to show that we solve for y prime. So we collect all of the terms of y prime, put them on one side of the equation and solve for y prime. So we have 8. Now another thing we could do so easily, we can divide this entire expression by 8. Just divide every term by 8 because 8 is everywhere. So we just divide all sides by 8. So it will just cancel all over. So now we have y to the 7th power y prime minus that term comes across, it becomes minus. So that is y to the 7th sine of x raised to the 8th power times y prime, all equals. Now this side we have y to the 8th power. We can write the cos of x first, and we write the sine of x raised to the 7th power. What's next? Let's maintain sine of x raised to the 7th power and y to the 8th because we want to bring in a substitution for them. So we have sine of x all raised to the 7th power cos of x. Then we send this term across the equal sign. We have minus sine of x raised to the 7th power cos of x. So what do? We can factor out y prime. So if we factor out y prime, it means we just have y prime will just be out. We just have y to the 7th power minus y to the 7th power sine of x all raised to the 8th power. So we divide both sides now by this expression. It means y prime will be y to the 8th power sine of x all raised to the 7th cos of x minus sine of x raised to the 7th cos of x divided by this one, y to the 7th minus y to the 7th sine of x all to the 8th power. And some books will say this is your final answer. But this is not actually the answer that we want. We want to simplify this problem further. Now, how can we simplify it further? If you look at this problem, there is a kind of unique pattern that we can use to further simplify the problem. We see that we have y to the 8th power sine of x raised to the 7th power. Now we can extract that expression from right here. So sine of x raised to the 8th power plus y raised to the 8th power is equal to y raised to the 8th power sine of x raised to the 7th power times sine of x. So we divide both sides by sine of x. It means this will just cancel. So it means that y raised to the 8th power sine of x raised to the 7th power is just equal to this expression. So where we see this, we're going to put this expression. That's the first. The second is for us to solve for y raised to the 7th power sine of x raised to the 8th power. We can also get it from right here. So sine of x raised to the 8th power plus y raised to the 8th power. Now we want to get y to the 7th, so we say y to the 7th sine of x raised to the 8th power and then times y. So we can divide the y on both sides. It means this will just cancel. So we just have this expression. So that's exactly what we're going to have. Now we can replace. So if we do replace, what do we get? Let's replace. Let's see where we can put it. Let's put it. We just put it down here. So y prime now equals. So this y to the 8th sine of x raised to the 7th power is just this. So we're going to have sine of x raised to the 8th power plus y raised to the 8th power all over sine of x times this cos of x minus sine of x raised to the 7th power. We are not replacing this, we're just rewriting it. Now, what we're going to do now, we're going to use the division sign. We're going to use the division sign. So we say divide. Now the denominator, y raised to the 7th power minus. So this expression is just equal to this one. Sine of x all raised to the 8th power plus y raised to the 8th power all over y. Don't forget to put it in parentheses. So this is it. So now let's simplify. So we have y prime to be equal to. So this cos of x can be multiplied with the numerator. I remember now you have 1 right there. So we can find the LCD for the two of them. So it's just sine of x. So sine of x into sine of x is just it goes there one time. So it's times this one. So we say cos of x times the numerator. So that is sine of x raised to the 8th power cos of x, and then plus cos of x. Let's use this one first. Plus y raised to the 8th power cos of x. Then we have minus. So 1 goes into sine of x is sine of x. Sine of x times this one. So it's like saying sine of x times sine of x raised to the 7th power. That will be sine of x all raised to the 8th power. Then cos of x. So what do you observe? This term cancel this term. So let's go in the denominator, divide. On this side as well, we do the same thing. LCD is just y. So this guy is 1. So we're going to multiply this y times this, gives us y raised to the 8th power minus. Now we have sine of x all raised to the 8th power, and then minus y raised to the 8th power. So this y raised to the 8th power can cancel this one as well. So y prime now becomes y to the 8th power cos of x all over sine of x. We can change this sign to multiplication and reciprocate this fraction. So we change it to multiplication. We have y all over sine of x. Remember now this is negative. Sine of x all raised to the 8th power. So this is now equal to minus y times y to the 8th is y to the 9th. And then cos of x all over sine of x now is cot of x. Now right here you have times 1 over sine of x all raised to the 8th power, because even if we say 1 raised to the 8th power is the same as 1, so it's just the same. So 1 over sine is, so we know that 1 over sine is now cosecant of x. So cosecant of x raised to the 8th power. This is our final answer. So you see how we have reduced the answer into a compact form, much smaller than the large answer we had on the board. So thanks all so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and see you in our next lecture. Thank you.